Tom and Alex, two adventurous A-level students, were always up for a challenge. When they heard rumors about the old Shadowbrook Mall being haunted, they couldn't resist. The stories varied from ghostly apparitions to eerie whispers, and even disappearances. The mall had been abandoned for over a decade, its vast halls now silent and dark. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, they decided to investigate. Equipped with flashlights and a camcorder, they stood at the mall's rusted gates. A chill ran down their spines as they gazed at the decrepit building. "You sure about this, Alex?" Tom asked, his voice betraying a hint of nervousness. "Yeah, it's just an old mall. We'll be fine," Alex replied, trying to sound confident. They pushed open the creaking doors and stepped inside. The air was stale, and the smell of mold and decay was overpowering. Their flashlights cast long shadows on the cracked tiles and broken shop windows. "Look at this place," Tom whispered. "It's like time stood still." They ventured deeper into the mall, passing abandoned stores with tattered signs. The darkness seemed to swallow them, and every sound echoed ominously. A rat scurried across the floor, making them both jump. "Let's check out the food court first," Alex suggested. The food court was a scene of eerie desolation. Tables and chairs lay scattered, and remnants of long-forgotten meals covered the floor. The silence was unsettling, broken only by the occasional drip of water from a leaky pipe. "What's that smell?" Tom asked, wrinkling his nose. "Something rotting," Alex replied. "Let's move on." As they turned to leave, they heard faint whispering. It was barely audible, but it sent shivers down their spines. They exchanged worried glances but decided to ignore it and continued exploring. They came across an old toy store. The shelves were lined with dusty dolls and toys, their once bright colors faded. A single, flickering light bulb hung from the ceiling, casting eerie shadows. "Check this out," Alex said, picking up an old teddy bear. "Creepy, huh?" Suddenly, the light bulb went out, plunging them into darkness. Their flashlights flickered, and for a moment, they saw a shadowy figure standing at the back of the store. It was tall and thin, with hollow eyes that seemed to pierce through the darkness. "Who's there?" Tom called out, his voice trembling. The figure didn't move. Instead, it seemed to melt into the shadows. They backed out of the store and hurried down the corridor. The mall seemed to come alive around them. Shadows moved, and the whispering grew louder. They felt as if they were being watched. "We need to get out of here," Tom said urgently. As they ran, they heard footsteps behind them. They turned a corner and saw a service door. Without hesitation, they burst through it and found themselves in a dark, narrow staircase leading down to the basement. "Do we have to go down there?" Tom asked, his voice shaky. "We don't have a choice," Alex replied, leading the way. The basement was colder and darker than the mall above. Their flashlights barely pierced the gloom. The air was thick with the smell of damp and decay. They walked down a long corridor, their footsteps echoing eerily. Suddenly, a loud bang echoed behind them. They spun around, but there was nothing there. "We need to keep moving," Alex said, trying to stay calm. They found an old security room. Inside, they discovered a wall of monitors, most of them broken. One monitor, however, still flickered with static. As they watched, the static cleared, revealing a grainy image of the mall's main corridor. The monitor showed a shadowy figure moving slowly through the mall. It seemed to be searching for something, or someone. They felt a chill run down their spines as they realized the figure was heading towards the basement stairs. "We need to hide," Tom said, panic rising in his voice. They found an old locker and squeezed inside, shutting the door just as they heard footsteps approaching. They held their breath, listening as the footsteps stopped right outside the locker. The door creaked open, and they saw a pair of hollow eyes peering in. The figure was inches away, but it didn't seem to see them. It moved on, leaving them trembling with fear. Once they were sure the figure was gone, they emerged from the locker. Alex spotted an old journal on the security desk. It belonged to the mall's former security guard and was filled with disturbing entries about strange occurrences and sightings. "Listen to this," Alex said, reading aloud. "June 15th. Another child went missing today. That's the third one this month. I hear their laughter at night, but when I check, there's no one there." Tom's face paled. "This place is seriously haunted." They continued reading and learned that the mall was built on the site of an old orphanage that burned down many years ago. The spirits of the children who perished in the fire were said to haunt the mall, along with the malevolent spirit of the man who set the fire. Determined to put an end to the haunting, they decided to confront the spirits. They left the security room and made their way to the heart of the mall. The air grew colder, and the whispers became louder. In the center of the mall, they found the shadowy figure waiting for them, surrounded by the ghostly apparitions of children. Their faces were twisted in sadness and anger. "We're not here to harm you," Alex said, trying to sound brave. "We just want to help." The figure pointed to a large mirror on the wall. As they approached, the mirror began to glow, showing scenes of the orphanage fire. The children's screams echoed through the mall, and the air filled with the acrid smell of smoke. "We're sorry for what happened to you," Tom said, his voice trembling. "You don't have to stay here anymore. You can move on." The spirits slowly faded away, and the oppressive atmosphere lifted. The mall felt warmer, and the whispers ceased. The mirror shattered, and a bright light filled the space. Tom and Alex found themselves outside, the morning sun casting long shadows on the ground. They looked back at the mall, which now appeared as an old, abandoned building with no signs of its haunted past. "Let's never come back here," Tom said, taking a deep breath of fresh air. "Agreed," Alex replied, and they walked away, grateful to have survived the night. As they headed home, they couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. They didn't dare look back, fearing what they might see. But deep down, they knew they would never forget the horrors they had faced in the haunted Shadowbrook Mall.
Dear viewers, if you like to watch the scariest horror stories, do subscribe, like and share our channel. Thank you.